At this time, we would like to introduce another notable educator, Kristi McGowen, Joplin School's Teacher of the Year.
Good morning. Thank you. You don't know it, but I asked the high school. I told them yesterday in the faculty meeting, and I said, no matter what I say, you better clap. So good job, guys. You may not do that when I'm finished, but good morning to everybody. Last April, when they announced me as Teacher of the Year for Joplin, I attended the National Honor Society induction at Franklin Tech. When I walked in, all the tech teachers standing against the wall, and I heard them say, congratulations, you're Teacher of the Year. So I automatically began my wave of honor, soaking it all in. And I hear him say, you're going to give that speech the first day of school. Good luck with that. And then, my wave kind of came down a little bit, and they said, you got to motivate us. Don't mention the tornado. And then Al Linden said, just keep it short. So, Mr. Linden, for the first time and probably the last, I'm going to take your advice today. Thanks. You really don't have to keep clapping. I really didn't know what I was supposed to talk about today. Was I supposed to be motivating? Should I share the application process? Should I share some classroom experiences with you? I didn't want to be too boring, so I decided I would just give you some thoughts that came to mind, and hopefully, especially for you brand new teachers, may motivate you into having a great year. This summer I attended the FBLA Leadership Conference in Tantera. I don't remember the speaker's name, but I do remember one of his focus points. One thing he said was, no matter where you are, no matter what, be excited to be there. So as I was getting ready this morning for this speech, I kept reminding myself of these words, and I hope you'll join me in the excitement of being here today and being here every day for the school year. I have many titles in the business department. After all, I am the oldest one in the department. Most of the time, I'm just McGowen. Sometimes it's boss, Mama Bear, or Hafer and Linden's favorite, Old Biddy. I answer to just about anything. I work with a great group of talented people, and any of them could be standing right here, right now, and they're a big part of the reasons why I continue to teach. I eat lunch with a football coach, a basketball coach, a baseball coach, and an avid Cubs fan. Last year, during our 28-minute lunch periods, they made me watch the arm wrestling movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. It took a long time to watch it because everybody had to be present to watch it. We couldn't watch it unless everybody was there. We share a lot of advice, and depending on what sports season it is, we also share a lot of frustrations, but we also share an abundance of laughter. So the first bit of advice I'd like to give to new teachers, build relationships. Everyone around you can and will be of help to you someday, especially the custodian and the secretary in the building. So build some relationships. For those of you that know me personally, I'm pretty vocal about being the best. Even though it's all in fun, a lot of people give me a hard time, and until I was named Teacher of the Year, my only claim to fame was the Pitcher High School Female Athlete of the Year, 1981. Then I was a Golden Apple winner, and I was about this big, but I was on the front of the phone book. When President Obama spoke at graduation, my daughter took pictures from the crowd, and she was at a pretty good angle. From the pictures, it looked like I was sitting right next to the president. So I did what anybody else would do. I posted them on Facebook and let everybody believe I sat right next to the president. Until they asked, I didn't tell them any different. If you ask a group of teachers that were my master's class, they will tell you that my presentations and my papers were always the best. Dr. Saketa probably doesn't know this, but he did a walkthrough evaluation one time, and he left me a Post-it on my desk that said, "Great work, KS." So I photoshopped it, and every time I turned something in, I would put that on my paper. And I let everybody on my master's group believe that Carrie really proofread my papers every time I turned them in. But being named Joplin Teacher of the Year tops all of these. I'm honored to be here today, and I'm sure sometime this year I'll use that to one-up somebody. But my second bit of advice is just laugh a lot and enjoy every moment. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself. Sometimes it helps build self-esteem. And when good things happen, make it public. Good news is a morale booster for everyone, including the community. Last month, I talked my husband into taking a family trip to Destin, Florida. When we were driving home, I had plenty of time to think about the events on our trip, and I realized there were many comparisons to my school year. Before I get into the details of the trip, I do want to point out that, like most families in the room, we could probably make it big on reality TV. But this is actually true stuff, so I'll try to hurry. First of all, my husband, Dennis, would much rather be at a motorcycle rally than be at the beach any day of the week. But I said, it's Chancey's senior year. We're going to bond. It'll be a great bonding experience for us before she goes off to college. So he's not a beach lover, but he did say he would go. So we drove her car because it gets better gas mileage, and like most people with a teenager, she has the best car in the family. Everyone kept saying, you can drive it in 14 hours. Well, it took us like 17 hours both ways, and we couldn't figure out why, but of those 17 hours, Chancey slept 14 of them, so we did our bonding at bathroom stops and eating stops. And we stopped at every Harley shop along the way, but that was a good trade-off for going to the beach, so I didn't complain too much. For traveling, I wore this pair of pink cutoff sweats, bright pink, and a neon orange shirt. It had been raining, so I had my hair up in a clip, and I had my readers on my head. So at our second Harley stop in Mobile, Alabama, I went in to get the free popcorn, and I hear, "Oh my God, you're my old teacher." No lie. So I kind of give her the, yeah, surprise. Sure enough, it was one of my former students in Mobile, Alabama. She was on her way home from the beach as well as we were going. And she proceeded to tell me that she still lives in Joplin, and she has a son that's going to be a freshman, so she's going to be seeing me around school a lot this year. And I said, well, I hope I look better than I do now. But another bit of advice, expect the unexpected, because you never know who you're going to see or what's going to happen throughout your school year. Well, we continued to drive, and it got dark, and we were in Dumas, Arkansas. It's a really small town about the size of Dunawig. And we got pulled over by the police. He informed us that we had a headlight out. And then Chancey sets up and says, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, my headlight's been going in and on and off." So the nice gentleman, policeman, just gave us a warning and suggested we get that fixed. So we did have a lucky break. We finally made it to Destin. It rained and rained and rained a lot. So I started complaining, my wifely way. I took all my summer school money from teaching summer school to go on this trip, and now we're in the hotel, and it's done nothing but rain, and I was just going to take a nap, and then I suggested we go shopping, but who wants to shop in the rain? So Dennis leaves and runs next door to the Sun and Surf, and he brings back ponchos. Bright blue ponchos, like NFL linebacker-sized ponchos. They're huge. And they said Sun and Surf on the front in big letters, and on the back, they had Sun and Surf and the phone number for the shop, I guess, if you wanted to call. So I continued to complain and feel sorry for myself, and he just calmly yet firmly said, "Just put your poncho on and go shopping." So we did. We got wet, but we had a good time. So my next bit of advice, associate yourself with people with a positive attitude. You never know when you're going to need a kick in the pants to get you back on track. And remember, no matter where you are, no matter what, be happy to be there. So late that evening, it finally quit raining, so we headed to the beach. All day, I had been making this high-pitched squealing sound, pretending to call the dolphins. And I knew how to do it because as a child, I watched Flipper after school every day. So we no more got in the water, and I start making that squealing sound, and Chancey's like, "Mom, that's so embarrassing." And I swear this really happened. We weren't in the water probably a few minutes, and this lady yells, "Dolphins!" And so we look out, and sure enough, there were 2 dolphins jumping in and out of the water. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the master dolphin caller. So all through the trip, I kept reminding them, who's the master dolphin caller? That would be me. So More advice. Don't be afraid to speak up and ask for something. If you want something, ask for it. Who knows? It may just show up. And be confident. If you don't believe what you're saying, then nobody else will either. So we left on Tuesday, it rained. Wednesday it rained. Thursday it rained. We were going to leave on Saturday anyway, so Friday was like our token day to get something done and get some sunshine. Well, Dennis decided we all needed to get up at sunrise and see the sunrise over the ocean. Try telling that to your teenage daughter on vacation. So at 5:10, we all rolled out of bed. We paid a man $2 each to take this walk on this long pier so we could go out and watch the sunrise. And we asked the guy at the gate, can you see the sunrise from this side of the pier? And he goes, you know what? I've worked here for 6 years. I've never really noticed. So we took our chances. We paid the $2 and went out on the pier. But we no more got there, and there was a bunch of fishermen. And this guy had this huge fish. And we watched him for probably 20 minutes. We kind of forgot about the sunrise, but he walked up and down that pier, and people were getting out of his way, and he reeled in, reeled out. And then the fish goes under the pier, and snap, his line broke. And we were probably more upset than he was. But you know what he did? He rebaited and threw back out there, hoping for his next big catch. We watched the sunrise, took a couple of pictures, and he just kept trying. So my advice, when something that you think is awesome and it doesn't work, keep trying. That's what we expect from our students, and that's what they should expect from us. So the sun finally came up, continued to shine. Chancey and I went to the beach from about 9 till 1. Dennis went to O'Reilly's to get a headlight and fix the headlight. And he brought back a shirt from the Fort Walton Harley shop. So it was a big day for him. So we left early Saturday morning because at this point, Chancey was so severely sunburned that she couldn't get back in the sun. And we were going to visit some cousins in Monroe, Louisiana. So we decided to go ahead and leave Destin. The last thing Todd said to us when we left was, be careful, it goes from 65 to 45 real quick, and it's not marked very well. Well, we found out real quickly where it went from 70 to 55. My husband's never had a speeding ticket, but he got stopped twice on the same trip in a matter of a few days. Needless to say, he wasn't very happy, but Chancey and I knew not to say a word in the car. So I did what any grown woman would do. I got the map out, put it in my lap, and pretended to be lost, hoping the policeman might give us another break. As he made his studly walk from his car to ours, Dennis was like, man, I wish that headlight was still out, don't you? And I said, yeah, but I think you were speeding. So sure enough, we got a ticket. And when he still had the window down and we're getting ready to pull off, we got a little lecture about driving too fast. And Dennis goes, well, you know of any good eating places around here? I could have slapped him. I said, the guy just gave us a ticket. Stop being so nice to him. But sure enough, he gave us the name of a good restaurant. We had dinner and went on our way. So more advice, be nice to everyone. Whether you want to or not, it'll probably pay off in the long run. So all the way home, I kept asking him, do you want me to drive? No, I'm okay. Do you want me to drive? No, I'm okay. 11:30, I hear the words I'd been dreading. Honey, I'm really tired. Can you drive? I'm like, well, I guess so. So from 11:30 to about 3:20 a.m., because we were determined to go home that night, I was not going to pay for another hotel. I had to really focus to stay awake and keep my eyes on the road. But anyway, I did. Had a headache the next day. After I unpacked all the dirty laundry, sand in the car, and Chancey's peeling face, back, feet, everything else, we did have many, many happy memories on this trip. And like I said earlier, as I was driving, I realized how much it really was similar to a school year. And this is the advice I want to leave you with today. First of all, many of us weren't ready to be here. We wanted summer to be just a little bit longer, but we came anyway because we knew it was the right thing to do. Sometimes it seems like it takes forever to get our kids from point A to point B, but we keep pushing forward until we get there. Sometimes it seems like we say the same thing to the same kids every day, day in, day out. And when you want the right answer, just like the guy at the pier, you hear, I don't know, that's a good question. Sometimes we have it all together, things are going great, and snap, things take a turn for the worse. Sometimes we get going too fast, and it takes someone or something to slow us down and help us enjoy the ride. Sometimes we're very tired, need sleep, and we think we just can't go any further, but for some reason we continue to teach, and we don't stop until we get the results we set out to reach. And sometimes, no matter how many days of gloom we may seem to have, the sun will eventually shine and remind us what our jobs are all about. Just like the letter that Dr. Huff sent out last week. kind of summed it all up. The top said, destination ahead, and at the bottom it said, it's not the destination that makes a trip memorable, it's the journey. A few days ago, I listened to Dr. Huff speak about opening the new high school in 2014. He said, we will not only be Joplin's high school, but we'll be America's high school. And for just a few minutes, I got this panic feeling thinking, man, we've got a lot of work to do to get ready for this. And then that voice inside me said, no, we are ready for this. We'll have many new buildings, but it's not the beautiful building on the outside. It's what goes on inside that makes it a great school. Joplin schools, and I'm including every grade level and administrative office, they know where we've been and where we're headed to continue to make our schools the best they can be for our kids in the 21st century, and I can't think of a better theme for our school year than Destination Ahead. I've never been more excited to be an educator, and I've never been more proud to be a Joplin Eagle. So as we begin a new school year, I encourage you to prepare for an awesome journey. Enjoy the ride, because this year will be over before we know it. Remind yourself daily that no matter where you are, no matter what, be excited to be there. And when it rains, just put your poncho on and go shopping. Thanks, and have a great year.